Now, it's time for the main quest line, the piece de resistance of Todd's left titty, and I'm using the Live Another Life mod, so the Helgen attack didn't happen, so I'm just skipping to the part where we need to grab the newest iPad from Bleak Falls Barrow. I mosey my way up to Bleak Falls, start exterminating the natives whose artifacts I'm about to pilfer for my future museums, and make my way through before we observe the bipedal dumbass in his natural habitat. Look at how his lack of neuronic functions leads the dumbass to ignore the obvious signs and pull the lever, leading him to catching that melatonin in projectile form. I push through some cum and find out it was a trap by Bill Cosby. He already has his first victim. I dodge his drinks and take him out before the Dark Elf starts speaking gibberish about the secret of Bleak Falls and the claw and how it works, and I could always use an extra dildo to add to my collection, so I ask him to hand it over, but evidently he's trapped and in need of a stepbrother, so I happily oblige. He says he's never going to be a bottom and starts running away, breaking our accord, but I'm not gonna let one of my prey go, so I chase after him, nuking him and the Draugr with Dawnbreaker that I've now equipped.
Enemy nuke incoming! It's over!
Problem is, Serana doesn't want to see me defile a corpse, so she raises him from the dead. After killing him, he turns to ash. Good thing he still has this, though. Watch out for the giant claw trap. The Draugrs are playing dead in this area, but like the IRS, I know all the loopholes needed to counter them. I use Fly against the troll who's evidently an electric type, judging by the lack of effect, but I still beat his ass. I use the Dragildo to open the door, learn a word of power, and while the boys are in a shootout with the Death Lord, I just loot his valuables, including the tablet. I give the iPad thing to Farangur's Secret Fire, who not only looks like, but is also named like, a Wizard 101 character. While I was gone, the West Tower was struck by a dragon attack, and also I can only now buy property. Guess capitalism's only for the select few oligarchs, isn't it, Vladimir? Despite the fact we're looking at fighting against a dragon attack and expecting the biggest, meatiest, most subscriber-worthy grizzly warriors Whiterun has to offer, we get the beta, scratch that, the Gamma Squad to deal with. You're telling me these drunken, sorry excuses for home guards are gonna help me take out a dragon? We get to the tower, beat up the Dragoon who still won't come down. After killing the dragon, I start absorbing his life points through osmosis. We also hear God telling us to pipe down, but as I'm heading back, apparently that was the Greybeards who wanted to have a word with me, so after collecting my reward from Balgruuf, I get to the Greybeards' abode who tells me to start shouting at the Soviet Union and Mac Miller to prove myself, and then the real training starts. They teach me whirlwind sprint to get gold in the next Olympics, before telling me for my last trial I have to, we still have to grab the horn of Windgall. Yes, you will go and do this very important, not at all grocery shopping quest of collecting the horn. We get to the cave where the horn is and see some slavery going on, so I hit the slave master with the Emancipation Prostate Examination, and the slave too, because we need the apartheid recovery arc. The last section was rough with redstone operated rucks, which would open and close the gates last second just to fuck with me. It's a good thing I can teleport at this stage of the game. The horn is gone, but instead there's a note asking me to rent the attic room to Riverwood, and I make like a nut and bolt. When I get to Riverwood, I get stopped by some cultists who say I'm not the real Dragonborn and start walking away before they realize, oh yeah, we have to kill him, and turn back around just to get walloped, but Serana here trapped this fucker under a bunch of stairs so I can't loot his corpse. I order the attic room, get a room that obviously isn't the attic, and Delphine gives me the wind horn, telling me to follow her, so fingers crossed I still get to cheat on Serana. Unfortunately, she opens a secret tunnel and I follow her downstairs to a secret hideout. The Cloak and Dagger act continues, saying she wants to make sure I'm not, Thalmor agent. Afterwards, she lets me in on the dragons aren't just coming back, they're rising up from the dead, and someone is behind this vile act. She has the coordinates of the next revival, but we have to be quick about it, since unlike Eminem's revival, this one's actually going viral. I get to the aforementioned spot, and we get season 12 of The Walking Dead early, as this dragon revives him, and after putting the revived dragon on a shirt, Delphine says she knew someone was behind it. Yeah, the dragon, I saw it. I bet it was those Thalmor fuckers. No, it was the giant dragon who used magic. You're going to the Thalmor embassy.
Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
I return the wind horn and get the iconic duh in Frusro duh. We got capitalism, but only if you're an oligarch, and if duh isn't Russian, then I'm not playing Skyrim. Next up in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I go back to Delphine to plot my infiltration mission. I ask Delphine how the fuck am I going to get into that dinner party, and she says she has a man on the inside whose family was genocided by the Thalmor, and after shedding a tear and screaming the Thalmor national anthem at the top of my lungs, I ask what I'm even supposed to do. I also cheated to get slow time.
Prize tool that can help us
Melbourne asks me to give him the items he wants me to sneak into the embassy. I'll show the necessary, most pristine goods I've chosen to smuggle in shortly, and Delvin says he can't go to the party like that, and gives me the drip. Razalin announces me as a latecomer to Elenwyn's soiree, where we shall eat fromage and drink the highest quality wines before doing what any rich politician does and get a 13-year-old pregnant, steal millions from the national treasure, campaign against the gays before my late-night scheduled gangbang with 20 other dudes.
Friendly fire!
I'm so disgusted by this My Hero pedophile. I strip naked to assert dominance with my monstrous 2-inch pincer. After confidently asserting my territory, I walk in and, oh, Elenwyn, it's been too long. Fucking weirdo. After I realized enacting every high-end European stereotype wouldn't work, and by European I mean French, I decided to scout the premises to see if I can get a noblewoman pregnant, proving her insanity, taking the kid, and pretty much Britney spearing her. But that intricate plan has to be put on pause because Maven Blackbriar. Shh, you don't know me. What do you mean? I'm part of the Thieves Guild, the one you own, remember? We steal things for you and engage in corruption and underhanded non-ethical business practices. I talk to Melbourne, who tells me to make a scene so I can slip away. Erica wants to slurp up more than a drink, though, as he's looking to become the next post on incel tweets, because he's spitting. He mistakes my sheer awe at his autism for actual game and asks me to talk to the elven lady for him, the one he wants to bend into 4D, and I say, shit, I got you. This wood elf is assertive and clear when she says no. Tell him to leave me alone or I'll call the cops. She says 5D and you got yourself a deal. This is the first time I tried to do this distraction that will evidently get me cancelled. I got the apology video on standby, but I thought he'd just make a scene, right? Something for r/neckbeard, not frame her and send her to the dungeon for being a little extra horny. Holy fuck, I have to get out of Iran. Melbourne shuts up the inquisitive Savani with, oh yeah, well, we'll tell Elenwyn about the guest along with your crippling crack addiction. Crack? Welcome to the team. I get my items smuggled in from the chest with only the items meant for peak efficiency, sensibility, and effectiveness. I'm ready. I shot the slow time technique, trying to sneak past the guards. I'm sure you understand why I had to restart. But next time I say fuck it, these fists are rated E for every elf. I sneak through, check some messages which were easy to intercept since I didn't use a VPN. Which reminds me, this video is sponsored by NordVP. Nah, I'm just kidding. I get no sponsors. I get downstairs, see some apartheid 1960s America shit going on, and hit Prison Master Rullendale with the Rosa Parks attack from the back special. I also get the notebook absolving the Thalmor of any involvement from the dragons, and free the prisoner, realize our escape route needs a key, and make my way to save Malburn. The reason I picked slow time, by the way, as we take out the guards. Malburn lashes out and we leave through the sewers. That's a frost troll who must have been wearing fucking anchor arms. How the hell did I die in 2 hits? I have a plan for this though. I run away. I get out, tell Delphine the Thalmor didn't do jack, and she says, damn, late is cold. The big dragon revived the other one. Maybe he should be invested. Well, why didn't you fucking say so? The Thalmor are looking for Esbern, a former Blades ally with Delphine, and so she sends me to where he should be in the Rift and Ratways. I dress up in my nicest attire to meet back up with the boys. Only real ones know what we've been through. Beckel the man good thing he cleared that up. He tells me to go search the underbelly of the Ratways, and off I go. It's swarming with Thalmor, unfortunately, so I fight through them and get to Esbern, who asks me for the password, and knowing he's a middle-aged man with erectile problems, I know it's 20-year-old OnlyFans model before he lets me in. After a comically long time trying to open the door, he finally lets me in, tells me the world is doomed. Alduin has returned to eat the world, until I tell him, no, I'm Dragonborn. Alduin is my sex doll, to which he rejoices. A dude named Jacker comes at me, but I get surrounded to jack him off, giving him a dose of his own medicine. I really need a purple suit and a new name. The Thalmor try to homicide us, but little do they know I can fully counter their homicide with the Geno variant and wipe them out. Delphine and Esbern make up, have sex while I watch, waiting for my next objective, which is Skyhaven Temple, to find out how the ancient Nords schlumped Alduin. We leave as a blood dragon comes out of hiding and he still won't land. Boy, I'll beat your ass! I fast travel to the temple, forgetting I have to deal with Forsworn, who pin us against a fucking dragon again, getting ready to spit roast us, but they forget.
Hey. I go first.
By the time I'm finished with them, they can't move their pelvis, and thus I avoid the natural butt plug. In the dungeon that is finally varied for fucking once, there's that familiar 3-animal puzzle thing, but no hints, so I'm stuck until Esbern goes, pick the Dragonborn one, since this is the Dragonborn Temple. And I'm like, no way, that's 2 on the nose, it's not gonna work. God, please let me wake up to that sweet melody.
Hey, you're finally awake.
I'll stunt on the entire continent. Just like you'll be stunting on life as a TCLR subscriber. Leave a like and subscribe to not only become supreme leader of the world, wielding even more power than Kim Jong-un himself, but 2, more importantly, not miss out on future content. To access the inner sanctum, I need to pass a drug test, unfortunately, and considering I have less blood than coke in my system, I fully expected failure, but apparently millennia corrodes machinery, and so I actually managed to open the malfunctioning sanctum. We find the Alduin story from a photo off Trump's homework folder, and you might notice I don't move during this cutscene. That was because I was taking a dump throughout this entire segment. The TLDR is I need to learn a specific shot to beat Alduin, Dragon Rend, aka shout. The Greybeards won't help me though, since, well, they've stayed on their high peak during the entire damn Civil War and Dragon Crisis. Good thing the boss man comes in with a message and says bring him up. We going all the way to the top floor, the corporate executive level, and meeting the big guy himself. They teach me a clear skies shout and off I go, making my way through a perilous journey. The fucker's a dragon. He asks me to help fulfill his fetish and breathe his own fire back at him, and I do just that as payment for his help. After dragon bending him in 5D, he tells me he has no idea what dragon rending is, so I should go collect the dragon Elder Scroll to peer back in time and find the origins of the shout. I get a cutscene where Alduin fights with the past Dragonborn. Goodness, Alduin taking eating booty to a whole new level. Man's got the entire thing in his mouth. After learning the Dragon Ren shout, the future Dragonborn send Alduin into the future with that, someone else will take care of it mentality I try to reach every day. After learning the shout, Alduin comes out to eat my ass, and I hit him with the bitch you wouldn't dare spaz to bait him in, beat his ass, and I missed the second shout. Me, Serana, and Parthenax hit him with that 3-man nuts to the face combo with the trauma enabling his priority park pass privileges as he runs away. After this beatdown, Parthenax tells me I need to ask one of his allies where he went, which is going to be difficult since we need to capture and convince the dragon to help us against Alduin. He might as well go back to 1942 and ask Hitler to help me save the Jews in Auschwitz, but the only place we can trap a dragon is the Dragon Palace in Whiterun. The Jarl says he's given me a Thane, dollar store Serrano, only included her to avoid this video getting suplexed by dislikes of the Lydia simps, and we get this exchange.
I must have misheard you.
Balgriff says, Aerolith, watch this. Hey, stop the Civil War, and then I'll let you trap a dragon in my palace. So I go to the Greybeards to orchestrate a peace conference, which fuck. At this point, I might as well invite the Palestinians and Israelis too for all the hope this conference has.
And it's gone.
I'll do Dragonborn TLC and Civil War in the 3rd video if you guys want it. I go to General Tullius first, who sounds like the Queen's grandchild with that fucking name. And eventually I get him to agree to join the summit, and Ulfric the same, before we go back to High Hrothgar to see if we can come to an amicable conclusion. Hey Elenwyn, how did my nuts taste back at the embassy? As we get started, Ulfric says he's in sitting with a fucking Thalmor, and the legate tries.
You're lucky I respect the Greybeard's counsel, Galmar.
Legate, we represent the Emperor here.
Sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
Smell like bitchy here! Oh, y'all smell like bitchy!
He got that dog in her. Everyone hops on the fuck Elenwyn train and we kick her ass out. Ulfric wants Markarth, let's call this the equivalent to New York, one of the most important American cities, which is preposterous of course. It's like asking a New York resident to trade his Timbs. The Legion would need something as big in return. I get asked what a fair trade would be and I decide there's no way they'd trade New York for, let's say, Fort McMurray. Where is that? Exactly. To my surprise, they actually agree to that deal, but of course they also get reparations for a genocidal massacre, as well as the Pale, wherever that is, and we get another gem.
What next, Tullius? Shall I just hand over all of Skyrim?
I don't know what's funnier, the joke or the fact he sounds like he took 50 gummies after I shouted slow time again. I agree to give the Pale because I still can't believe they agreed to give up Markarth, and finally the peace. Happen? What? This easy? I'll see you bitches later, I'm headed to Ukraine. For doing the impossible and solving racism, the Jarl gives me a great reward. It's some alcohol. Is he hoping getting me drunk will make me forget about his end of the bargain? Nah, bitch, we trapping that dragon. I hit him with that come over here and I'll beat you. Oh look, never mind. Fucker's stronger than Alduin. Serana, you can handle it. After masturbating and then trapping the dragon, he calls me daddy and lets me know Alduin is in Sovngarde, which is fantastic. Now I just need the 54 Magnum to get there, but he does say there is another way without ending my life, unfortunately. He can carry me there. There's no way he thinks I'm gonna fall for that. Free the dragon. What? I free the fucker, he throws it back, and I comply in the ancient dragon mating ritual of having sex, and after changing my middle name to Donkey, we ride for Valhalla. Clifford the big red dragon says, "You got this, little bro. I'll just wait over here in relative safety," which I think nothing of until me and my fire H-Knock get pacified and put to sleep almost immediately, and no Serana can come with us. After that reckoning, I realize no 6-incher is ever gonna squeeze its way past the final boss, so we need the Johnny Sin cybernetic upgrade. This bad boy cosplaying Zeus hits him with that double the daily recommended dose of electrocution. As we get to the top, and this is where my genocidal fucking came to an end. Multiple whites, a dragon. Me and my Storm Atronach were hopelessly outmatched, and so I did the only thing I could think of, the final jeopardy, my last option, the ace up my sleeve. It's time to summon Contavious, an all-powerful devil skeleton dragon. Easy win as I summon him, and he dips after giving me a useless shout. As I run away from my failures, I try summoning Blizzard, but unfortunately they didn't let the MC charge up his power, and just Azula'd my ass, leaving me Viagra-less. After round 2, I position myself to give all the Dragger a skydiving experience they'll never forget, and showing the dragon he might be born a dragon, but I'm dragon-born, goddammit. I get to the Dragon Priest defending Valhalla, a champion who took me no less than 30 tries last time I tried to kill him. He dies immediately. What is this power? Sovngarde is pretty cool and nice and snowy, although I do need to clear the Beijing levels of smog every once in a while. Didn't know Alduin himself was a based bong blaster. I know who he's voting for in the midterms. This isn't by design, as Alduin has trapped Stormcloak soldiers and Kodlek. He's gone too far. Where are my anal beads? I get to Swedish Arnold Schwarzenegger, and as I try to tell him the world is in danger and I need to get into the Hall of Champions, "Now you must fight me to prove your worthiness." We're about to be a 3-course meal at Red Lobster by Alduin if you don't let me. Wait a minute, I'm in Sovngarde. How the fuck am I dead? Second time around, I'm better prepared. Third time around, I channel urban survival training and run circles around the fucker, clinching my express pass to the Gods Round Table. I get to the 3 fuckers who beat Alduin before. Yeah, the guys who just put the entire situation on my back in the first place, and together we go fight the NSFW version of Toothless. But the only training this dragon's gonna get is a 24/7 on the rails special. After we clear away the hotbox, he comes in and is pretty tough. One of the stronger dragons, no doubt, but after we 4-man him, I insert the anal beads into his asshole to assert dominance, and finally finish off one of the greatest threats humanity's ever witnessed since furries. I hit up Gormlaith for her number, get rejected, cry while saying I didn't want you anyway, and get Schwarzenegger to teleport me back home. We get hazed by the dragons as Parthenax starts dick riding me. Dick. And that's part 2 of Skyrim on crack. I don't want to say anything about the Dawnguard questline because my experience is tainted with Will Smith announcing its rewind time about when I was going to fight the penultimate boss, but the main storyline, it didn't hit. Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild are better. God bless your soul if you actually did the Mages Guild, but the main questline is somewhere in between. Let me know down below what you think, of course, and if you want me to finish off part 3 with Civil War as well as the Dragonborn DLC, then let me know, and expect Walking Dead Season 2 on crack coming next week-ish. See y'all next time. Peace.